hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my sacred.
Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga. And for anime only fans, this is the time of the month where a lot of the content that you guys see on the channel is going to be spoiler heavy, so I thank you for your support. However, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you guys are okay with me talking about manga spoilers because you've read the manga and you don't care about spoilers. So jumping right in, I think now we need to have the conversation about how Boruto Uzumaki got the scar that is on his eye. And this has been like the $1 million question that so many people have been asking, like, hey man, when's Boruto gonna get the scar? And I mean, hey, I've been one of the first ones to say like, hey man, I think it might be here, I think it might be here, and I want to see how he gets the scar as much as anybody else. However, I think that we've actually got the build up for this scar coming right now. So one thing that we've seen in the last Boruto chapter is Boruto is deeply troubled by the fact that he destroyed Sasuke's Rinnegan, and when you saw Boruto and he was trying to take control back from BoruShiki, we saw that he is not above physical harm in order to do the right thing. And the way that we saw this is that Boruto broke off his horn on his own skull when BoruShiki was resisting him taking over. And I thought at the time that, hey, you know, Boruto, by doing that, that might be how he got the scar because of how the actual horn runs right over his eye. But that does not look like that was the actual case here. And so the reason why this is so important is I think that they can use this as a bit of a segue where when Boruto actually sees Sasuke's damaged eye, I can see Boruto in a position to where maybe he has a situation to where he fears that BoruShiki is attempting to take over, and instead of trying to destroy the horn, Boruto does something to where trying to destroy that eye that pops up when BoruShiki takes over, and he ends up giving himself that scar. I think that you could even see something as simple as, well, I destroyed your eye, I'll mutilate my own self. I could see something like that because the fact is that Boruto is still Naruto's son. Naruto was willing to actually damage himself on his very first mission in order to prove that he was not afraid. I could see something to where Boruto looks at it and says like, look, you're forever gonna have a memory, a reminder of the fact that I destroyed your eye. I'm not going to destroy my own eye, but I give myself this scar as a reminder of what happens when I lose control. I could see Boruto making a intelligent decision like that because he's not going to do something like with Naruto to where Naruto tried to stab his own hand to prove that he had a big set of balls, and Kakashi says like, yo, you know, you would bleed out under normal circumstances, and he keeps out the fact that it's the actual Nine Tails that's healing Naruto's body. Boruto doesn't have something like that, but I could see Boruto making the decision of like, look, if I destroy my eye and I do this the wrong way, I'll kill myself. If I give myself this scar over my eye, this would be one of those times where every time I put on my headband, every time I look in the mirror, I'm gonna have a reminder of what happens when I lose control, and it's gonna give me a bit of incentive to try and get everything under control. I could see Boruto making a very selfless decision like that, and I think it would be very much in character for the character of Boruto to jump to a conclusion like that. And it would make a lot of sense, in my opinion, for Boruto to do something as selfless as this, and I think that for a lot of fans, this would be something that would be a satisfactory way. I thought that there was a missed opportunity to where Isshiki could have given Boruto that scar over his eye. I think that would have had the highest payoff, but I think this is a good way to actually start the process of having there be a bit of a emotional payoff for Boruto having that scar over his eye, where it's the biggest plot twist nobody saw coming, where it's Boruto giving it to himself. Before this, a lot of people are saying it's gonna be BoruShiki that gives it to him in the actual anime, or it's gonna be Jigen or Isshiki that gives it to him, or like how I was thinking that Sasuke in that battle against BoruShiki, Sasuke ends up giving him the scar over the eye. I was very strongly thinking that that's what was going to be the actual instance right there, but I think this could be something that actually works, and it really comes down to when they actually incorporate this. Will this be something that Boruto does heading into the time skip? I think that could be something that works because right now the manga's in need of a shakeup, and I think that that could be the first sign, if you do that before the time skip, that you see this as a way to actually start the process of bringing back some of those fans that abandoned the manga. However, you also have the payoff of putting this into something to where Boruto pops up after the time skip and he has that scar over his eye, because it really allows you to actually play with things from a narrative perspective. In fact, when you get to a time skip, it gives you the opportunity to treat Boruto much in the same way that you treat, say, like the Pokemon series, where you have like Pokemon Red and then you also have Pokemon Blue. Well, you play both of them. Even though you've already beat Red, you go ahead and you try Blue anyway, just because of the fact it's something different. And so, which is actually a good segue into actually shedding some light onto a YouTuber that I think is extremely talented. His name is Professor Alex Silver, and much in the same way that I talk about Naruto lore and the history, and I talk about some of the past battles that you might not be aware of, Professor Alex Silver really goes in depth when it comes to Pokemon history. And for me, as somebody that was more of a casual fan, being able to stumble across this channel and learn so much about Pokemon, I found myself binge watching a lot of his content. And in particular, what I really enjoyed about him is that I love water type Pokemon, and the videos that he had on Squirtle and on Gyarados, those were really fun for me to actually check out, man. So I would highly recommend checking out his channel because he uploads new videos every Sundays. And make sure to say that Naruto Explains sent you over there. I really hope you guys subscribe and check him out, man. With that being said though, I know somebody's like, wait, you just compared Boruto to a freaking Pokemon. You making it seem like Momoshiki's walking around saying, little blue-eyed boy, I choose you. I know that sounds wild, but this is the absolute truth. And I think the Pokemon analogy definitely fits because, again, just as Pokemon gives you a new generation, it's going to be the same thing with Boruto. So when we go into that time skip and we see Boruto with that new design and potentially have Boruto show up with that scar, it gives you opportunity narratively to kind of play with things a little bit more, and you go into like a back history scene of where something happens during his training with Sasuke and it gets revealed that that's how he's given the scar. It gives you something else to actually narratively play with Boruto's character, and maybe that experience right there is something that just adds to the personality change as you get to Boruto in the time skip. This is a great opportunity. This is what, as a writer, you want. It's basically a tabula rasa. It's a blank slate. It gives you opportunity to really build things into your own vision. Which, when you really think about it, having Boruto give himself a scar in this selfless way, or have it be tied to something tragic, it gives you the opportunity to reinvent the character in the time skip. Now, you can still have some of the elements of what made people fall in love with Boruto, but we're at a point now to where when you look at the actual manga sales, if we're being honest with ourselves, a continuation of Naruto not doing 500,000 in sales per volume is a failure. I mean, we're just gonna keep it real here for a second, and that don't take nothing away from what the anime's done. I think the anime's done a better job, and I sincerely believe that if Boruto does give himself a scar because of everything that's happened, I think the anime is going to do a much better job of actually fleshing out the scene and showing Boruto's true guilt. Because as you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of the illustrator for the Boruto manga. I feel like he cuts way too many corners, and there are other monthly mangaka that do a much better job of being detailed. I know people say the guy doesn't have assistants. I have interviews to say otherwise, so I'm not giving the guy that excuse, but the fact is that the manga sales do reflect that there's a disconnect. When you look at how well the anime's doing and you look at where the manga's at, there's a huge disconnect between the anime and manga. And so I think the anime will handle this fine, but because we're getting the core story in the manga first, I really feel like this is a great opportunity for Ikimoto to really deliver on Boruto's character here. I have high expectations for this time skip, and I think that this could start the process of giving people what they want. A lot of people want to see that payoff of Momoshiki saying those blue eyes of yours are going to take everything away from you, and a great way to actually start that process of Boruto losing everything and showing you that Boruto is walking down that dark path, as if we come back from this time skip and he's got that scar over his eye and we find out that something happened on the training arc, or Boruto does this as a semi form of atonement or something. It's something that can add more layers to the character. I think that that's something that definitely could benefit the manga right here. However, I want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel about this? I know the Ikimoto defenders are going to come out with their pitchforks. Totally understand it. You guys are entitled to your opinion on that, obviously. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you like this suggestion for Boruto getting that scar over his eye? And if you're a Pokemon fan, let me know down in the comment section if you're going to check out the YouTuber that I recommended. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.